All right, so here's the deal, folks. I'm coming into this. We're going to do a live stream. I'm coming into this a little bit blind. I saw maybe the first 10 released players or so. Went upstairs, put on some pork belly for the boy, a little late birthday present. And then played a little football, came back, and it's just absolute mayhem and pandemonium. I saw a couple of the moves, not everything though. But I want to go through this. I want to get everybody's thoughts on this, so make sure you drop in your comments. Probably going to need your help with a few of these things. I'm sure there's been some things that have been explained and whatnot that I'm not currently privy to. So if you know, let me know. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. So let's go through it. This is via Wes Hodkowitz. He's got the 2024 initial 53-man roster. Andy says no AJJ is a crime. That one surprised me quite a bit. We'll get there, obviously, eventually. I'm not mad about it. I mean, there's different ways that you can construe why they did what they did. We'll be speculating for a while. And then, of course, we speculate, and then they end up changing things. They bring this guy back, do this, do that, whatever. It's just the initial, so there's a lot of things that will change between now and whenever. But right out of the gate, if we start with quarterback, obviously the surprise came yesterday, but holy crap, did this take a heck of a turn. Ryan says, not sure if I'm just ignorant to it, but I am surprised to see Clifford and Pratt go. So the plan is, and this is part of the shock, so if you're not aware, Malik Willis, the Packers traded for since a 7th-round pick. It says pending physical. So hopefully he passes the physical. I'm guessing they expect him to, but that would be a heck of a thing if he did not. I don't see why he wouldn't. He was just playing in the preseason. But Malik Willis is being brought in. Clifford and Pratt were let go. That doesn't necessarily surprise me. My assumption was they would bring Pratt back on the practice squad, and I even speculated maybe Pratt would end up being the number 2. Malik Willis would be more of that, long-term project thing. That's kind of right, except for the part that it's not Pratt, it's Clifford. They have decided to hang on to Sean Clifford, who seemingly took a massive step backward, was horrifically bad throughout this whole process. Now, I don't mean to be mean to Sean Clifford. I liked Sean Clifford at a point in time. I am a little bitter, though, because, as you probably know, Michael Pratt was one of my guys. I loved him in the draft process. I was beyond excited that we ended up drafting him, and he was great. I mean, he had 2 bad drives in that last game, but even in the first part of that game, he was great. All through practice, he was basically perfect in training camp, and in the other preseason games, he played fantastic. So, beyond stunned that we would use a draft pick on a guy, and he plays well and we get rid of him. I don't fully understand that. Again, we'll wait and see. Until Pratt signs with another team, anything is possible. But the expectation right now is that Jordan Love, Malik Willis will be the 2 quarterbacks, and Sean Clifford will be the guy on the practice squad, at least for a little bit of a while. What's up, Benny?
Where's Riley?
She's upstairs. Running back. I can't talk right now, Benny. I got to do this, okay? Running back, another one that surprises me a little bit, although it's not as shocking, I suppose. Before we move on here, Travis says, I think they really prioritized Clifford's book smarts and his ability to be the best assistant to Love. I think that's true. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. He was praised for being borderline brilliant, and Goody loves that. He loves extremely smart players, understandably so. You have to be smart to play in the NFL. And as a backup, he's going to be able to help in a lot of ways outside of actually playing football. Still a little bit disappointing. And obviously they feel that there is more to develop, and I think that's fair. I think he has more upside as a talent. But boy, oh boy, he struggled like a lot. He says, we all know we're done if Love goes down. All about who can provide the best assistance throughout the season, maybe. That and, like I said, upside, which I think Clifford has more. Still just an absolute kick in the stomach. I mean, it's almost like Pratt, there's no way Pratt could have won the job. That's not entirely true. I think they brought in Malik Willis because Clifford and Pratt proved they couldn't be those guys. And so that ultimately is why Michael Pratt ended up having to get kicked off. But it just stings because he was a guy that I really, really liked. If he goes somewhere in the NFC North, I'm going to weep. So moving on to running back, another one that's a little shocking, but not super shocking. Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd, Emmanuel Wilson are on the 53. A.J. Dillon was put on IR, and Ellis Merriweather and Nate McCrary were released. I saw somewhere that they're expecting Nate McCrary, I believe, to be back on the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I got that completely backwards. Fact check me on that one. Let me know if you heard any news about that. Sorry, Travis, I didn't mean to make you a Pratt believer. That's the other thing that sucks about doing this. Sometimes I get people like really hyped about something and it doesn't work out. Sometimes it's because they get cut, or sometimes it's just that they suck at football, and then it's like, I'm sorry, I lied to you, I've misled you, I apologize. I thought Marshawn Lloyd would be going, A.J. Dillon not so much, but it does make sense. The Dillon injury sounds relatively serious, and I'm just kind of excited about it. Sorry, get out of here, Blaine. Don't worry about my messages about video games. I am very excited though, because I'm hopeful for Marshawn Lloyd. I think the Packers really want Marshawn Lloyd to be a thing, and I think they're just going to push it. And that's exciting to me that they're just saying, look, he's hurt, whatever, I don't care. I want him to play. He's going to play. And so the other thing is, and I just got done doing a podcast with another group. I would shout them out if I could remember. It's like Lost Tribe Media or something like that. I apologize for not remembering. But anyways, I mentioned that because of the injury situation, I think Josh Jacobs is just going to get a ton of carries. I think they're just going to put a lot on his shoulders and expect him to carry the load. I could be wrong. Maybe they're just going to say Josh and Emmanuel Wilson are going to like split carries like they always do, this 50-50 nonsense. But I'm hopeful anyways that Josh Jacobs is going to be seeing more than like the typical 13 to 15 carries and maybe closer to 20, 25-ish carries in a game, with Emmanuel Wilson kind of spelling here and there until Marshawn Lloyd can come back healthy, and then we kind of work him into the fold a little bit. And as far as Dillon's long-term prospects, I don't really know. Prince Capsaicin says Dillon done for a year, a surprise. Is he down for the year? I didn't see the full details of that. Like I said, I'm coming into this blind and kind of on purpose because I think it'd be kind of fun rather than going back and learning. We can just kind of talk through it. So if I miss something, let me know. Is he done for the year? Because I know on IR you can come back after 4 games. It's a new thing. It used to be if you went on IR prior to the season, you were out for the year. That's not the case anymore. So let me know if that's a thing or not. I would have got rid of Cox and Kev. We haven't got there yet, and I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it for me. Don't talk to me about King. I did see that. I just saw that before I came on here, and I was like, no, don't tell me that. But we'll get there. I've seen gossip that Dillon could be looking at career ending. Is Twitter just being dramatic? Is there more that we know about Dillon's situation? So I assume that's speculation, and I assume that because we speculated on that last night. We were talking on Packernet Derailed about all the guys that have had neck injuries and it ended their career. Jonathan Franklin, the running back, Sterling Sharp ended his career with a neck injury. A lot of guys, when it goes to the neck, they get shut down. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm guessing it's speculation, but it's obviously not great. I mean, Dillon was he was doing okay. I thought things were going well. Last year was a real down year. He comes in this year. You kind of hope that maybe you get a little bit of a spark. We didn't see the spark. We thought, I think generally as a fan base, we all kind of thought Emmanuel Wilson was a little better. I know he doesn't have the upside of Dillon, but I mean, Dillon doesn't even seem to have the upside of Dillon. And with Marshawn Lloyd not playing, you figure Dillon's going to have a legit shot to kind of prove what he can do. Now he goes out. It's a neck injury. It's a recurring injury. I think it sounds scary. Dillon is done IR with no designation to return. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, that's obviously not a good thing for Dillon. I don't think he'll be back with the Packers next year, if I had to guess. I mean, unless there's a disaster with this group. I'm guessing last year was the last time we saw Dillon, which is certainly a sad thing. Not good. No return for him or Davis. Okay, that was another one I wasn't sure about. Tyler Davis done for the year, and I don't think he played at all last year, so he's probably done. Also, I don't think we're going to see Tyler Davis at all. Ben Sims, I think, is the new Tyler Davis. Solid blocking guy. Again, we haven't gotten there quite yet, but it's unfortunate. I mean, I was never a huge Tyler Davis fan, but obviously, I mean, he was starting to I was coming around to him a little bit. Packers loved him. LaFleur loved the guy, and he was kind of starting to show out a little bit, but, I mean, you can't basically be out for 2 years and not... Would you quit swearing on my thing? Blaine, shut up, dude. Sorry about that, everybody. Freaking idiot. Where are we at here? So, yeah, running back. And again, I'm not mad about it. I'm sad for Dylan. I legitimately am. I like Dylan, and maybe he'll be back next year. I don't know. This is exciting, though. You have to be excited about this. Josh Jacobs is an absolute stud. He was underutilized, and I think demoralized last year. That's the theme I'm going with. Marshawn Lloyd is a stud. It's just a matter of getting him back healthy, and we all love Emmanuel Wilson. I'm excited for that group, absolutely. Ford got the only IR with designation to return. Okay, so I didn't see that, but I'm glad. I assumed he was going to be on IR. I did put him on the IR with designation to return. There is one additional that's available. You can use two. Apparently, they only wanted to use the one. Man, that is big news about Dylan. I didn't think that would happen. All right, and then wide receiver looks to be exactly as we all thought last night. If you watched us on Derailed, I think we all had this. You got the big four, Dobbs, Reed, Watson, Wicks, and then Heath and Bo Melton was kind of what was expected, with all of these guys ending up getting released. I did see Samori Toure gets released. I don't believe there's any intention to bring him back, but we shall see. You guys, again, fill me in. Let me know if there's any news on any of these guys. I haven't heard. I saw one that was expected to be back. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody I didn't respect. I'm sorry, that's not the word. Somebody I didn't expect, not respect. I want to say like Hicks or Wayne or something. I don't know. But so that's about what I think just about everybody expected. Tight end we covered kind of inadvertently there. We got the three with Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, and Sims. You're all good, John. With Tyler Davis putting on season-ending IR, which, again, a little bit shocking to me, but it certainly provides clarity, which is nice because that's one thing we never get with the Packers is clarity on injuries. And so, unfortunately, that seems to be the only way we're going to get clarity is if, somebody's out for the year. But it is what it is. So, and again, at the end of the day, whether it's Tyler Davis or Ben Sims or Joel Wilson or whoever, these are the guys that we're excited about. Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, and I am very excited about it. It's one of the things I always mention. This time of year, we obsess about the Ben Simses and the Messiah Swinsons and the Caleb Joneses and the James Esters and everything else. And when the season comes around, these are the guys we care about. That's it. Hicks reported coming back to practice squad. Okay, so Hicks. I think that's exactly what it was. Because I was kind of surprised. I was leaning toward Dimitri Stanley, and he may still. I don't know the situation. But the only one I saw was Hicks, and I thought, well, that's maybe the last one I would have expected of all the guys. All right, offensive line. Let's see. I haven't seen this yet. Let's see how close I was. Jenkins, Myers, Walker, Tom, Morgan, and Ryan, I think were locks. Dillard it's exciting. I had Dillard. Monk I had. Telford I had. Travis Glover I did not. Now, that is a draft pick, so I think several people had Travis Glover because you assume, hey, you drafted the guy. It is what it is. Who else did I? Oh, so they just added one more. So I had 9. So I had it right, aside from they added Travis Glover in addition. So that's exciting. That honestly, and it's kind of a my bad. I was thinking about this. I was like, man, nobody ever talked about Glover. And it's like, well, some people probably did. You just didn't. You want to talk about a draft pick that flew under the radar, at least for me. If you asked me how's he been doing, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you a single thing about Glover. I'm sure there's been a couple reports about him. Packers liked him enough to keep him on, so that's always good news. Released him over guys like Royce Newman, which I saw the fan base was over the moon about. I think for me the biggest surprise might have been Caleb Jones. Not that, I kind of expected a release, but I believe the expectation is he will not be coming back. Could be wrong again. I'm getting my wires crossed here a little bit, but I believe between the two, one of them wasn't coming back, and I don't think it was Samori Toure, so that would mean it's Caleb Jones. I don't know. Just don't listen to me right now. We're just hanging out. Just two guys talking. I don't know. Don't act like I'm an expert on this stuff right now. There are downsides to just doing this live as opposed to learning first. But no, I think that's fine. I think generally we're in a position where if any of our starters go down, you start to worry a little bit. Maybe Sean Ryan's where he needs to be. I don't know. I am excited about Dillard. Dillard's a first-round pick. He's got a ton of potential, really athletic, but he's just failed everywhere he's been. He's been very good for the Packers, like very good. So not trying to overly hype this thing, but man, if that could have been a hidden gem that we unlocked if we can kind of get these coaches to kind of get him where he needs to be. All right, let's do defensive ends next. Preston was obvious. Rashawn, Van Ness, Enigbare, Brenton Cox, and Aaron Mosby. So I had this as my group. I did not have Mosby. Now, he was always a possibility because he absolutely tore up the preseason. It's one of those things where you got to ask, at what point does it not matter the fact that, it's just preseason and you're not a draft pick and all that kind of stuff? Mosby showed out, and if anybody deserved it, he might be that guy. I think, let me pull it up here real quick. Let's just find out for sure. So here's the defensive grades. Mosby was our third highest graded defender behind Welch and Russell. And then let's take a look at this. This was the other thing. The progression here, how much better he got every single year. I don't know if that played into it, but you can see 63, 69, and then 92 this past week. Something about him, and that's the other thing. You never know exactly what it is, but they saw something in Aaron Mosby, his preparation, the way he went about playing the game. Excited to have him out there. And honestly, the one I'm most excited about is this guy right here. I've been kind of hyping him up since the beginning of this year. Last year, I was a little more skeptical. This year, with the change to a 4-3, it just kind of got me wondering about, I wonder if he can kind of thrive in a thing like that. And sure enough, he's been dominant nonstop. I've been saying it since day one. I don't know that he isn't better than Kingsley Enigbare today, which would make him edge 4 right now. I'm not going to say better than Lucas Van Ness because I refuse, because he's a first-round pick, and I kind of like the guy. But we'll see. We'll see how much they give him as far as opportunities. I'm excited about him and his ability to get after the quarterback. All right, let's see. This one is about as straightforward as you can get. Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Colby Wooden. No surprises there. That means Esther, Waggy, Shad, and Ford are on the, or they were released here. Jonathan Ford, IR, designated to return. I think Esther was the guy that I actually wanted to put on the practice squad. I didn't finish filling out the practice squad, but I went back and looked at it. Esther made a lot of sense to me to put on there. Bro, how do I make you go away forever? Shut up. 11 defensive linemen plus Ford returning after 4 games is 2 more than I thought they would keep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we need to start changing the way that we look at defensive line and how much we keep. I don't really know. It's kind of a slight change, maybe. I wouldn't think it would make that big of a difference, but we'll just have to see. I'm just texting Blaine to shut up. Stop messaging me. LOL. All right, now he's going to throw something wildly inappropriate on there, I guarantee it. All right, so that one was pretty straightforward. Again, we'll see about the practice squad. Inside linebackers, Quay, McDuffie, Wilson, Cooper, and Hopper. I think that's about as straightforward as it gets. There were some questions about would they leave anybody off. I think especially Eric Wilson. Bro, I'm lacking big time. I had no excuse. I'm a slack. You know what? We should just set a date for Jeopardy. Maybe tomorrow. Let's just freaking do it tomorrow. All right? You hold me to it. You guys just start messaging me like, dude, we're doing Jeopardy at 7. I'm gonna be there, so you better show up. Raylan Goforth waived injured. Released was Welch, Young, and Russell among the linebackers. These guys, again, Welch and Young showed out, but it's one of those things that's probably not good enough. We'll see if any or both make it back. I would assume at least one, if not 2 of those guys will be on the practice squad. Cornerbacks, Jair, Eric Stokes, Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, Corey Ballantyne. Everything about that makes sense, except Kalen King was left off. They're just riding with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners. Last year they did 4, which was really low. I think so. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, they always did at least 6. Then in 2022 they did 5, and it was like, oh, that's low. And then they did 4, and it's like, that's ridiculously low. They're back to 5 now. I'm beyond upset about Kalen King. He has to be on the practice. If you guys tell me that they said he's not going to be on the practice squad, I'm done. I'm removing the Gootlicker thing. I am no longer the captain of the Gootlicker squad. Somebody else can have it. I'm doing something else in my life. I'm not dealing with Pratt and King leaving after both of them dominated all offseason. I'm going to lose my mind. Ray Finkel. Okay. Finkel is Einhorn. And then LJ Davis, if I didn't say, waived injured. Safeties. Xavier McKinney, Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, Zane Anderson, and Keaton Oladapo. This one surprised me. I had said as my surprise cut, Oladapo would be that guy who would end up getting let go and put on the practice squad. I was wrong. It was Anthony Johnson. Now, the thing that I like about that, first of all, we're all big fans of Oladapo over here. But the thing I like is I thought Anthony Johnson did a pretty good job. I thought he showed that he can be a decent, what are we talking, 4th or 5th safety? The fact that they said, no, we're going to roll with Oladapo, it shows some level of confidence for a guy that really didn't play very much. And when he did, he honestly wasn't that good. But I think his tools and his upside and his skill set and all that, Packer said, I'd rather ride with that guy. He's probably not going to have to play for a while. We can, get him in the practices and all that kind of stuff and get him up to speed. Kind of similar to Marshawn Lloyd. He's not ready day one, but we're going to get the guy ready. And then we have another thing that I don't want to dig my heels in because it's not like I liked what Anders Carlson was doing. But this is another one where I look and I just go, I don't fully understand this. Whelan as a punter makes sense. Orzic, by default, is a long snapper. Not that he's great. But Greg Joseph beating Anders Carlson, I just don't fully understand. I know Packer fans are beyond excited about this. I think it's mostly out of spite because Anders was the guy that was here and failed everybody, so they're spiteful and they're mad and they just want him gone. This is not a solution. This guy is not a good solution. He was terrible in this training camp. He was worse than Anders Carlson in this training camp. He's not had a good career as a kicker. I don't really know what to say about it, but it is what it is. I obviously in Goot we trust. I'm hanging on to the Goot Liquor thing at least for a little while. Give me 1 minute here, Brinley. I'm almost done. We'll see. We'll trust the process that Joseph is going to have a good career. You can say hi, sure.
Hi.
There you go. Good job. So, anyways, any final thoughts? Get it in there.
Another word.
You can say it just as long as it's a nice word. One word.
What are you doing?
Okay, thank you. Otherwise, let's go through the noteworthy items here, I suppose. Packers, yeah, we saw all this stuff. Dylan, Stinger, and tight end Tyler Davis replaced on. Okay, so I think we saw most of this stuff. Andy just says hello. That's about it, man. There's going to be some additional moves, and we'll see what happens with the practice squad. I don't think I'll go live for that. That's not quite as interesting, but we'll talk about it on the podcast. But like I said, I wanted to kind of go through this live with you guys, just talk through it, get your thoughts. But if that's all you guys have, that's all I have. I guess we'll get up out of here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're on X right now, please make sure you're following along. You probably are. That's why you're on here. As well as Facebook, please do the same thing. Prince Capsaicin, if they plan on making a waiver wire claim, you need to open roster spot. Not sure if cutting to 53, not below, means no claim. Yes, you can say another word.
Hey, ho.
You want to say something about the Packers? What do you want to say about the Packers?
Packer boy.
Packer boy. Okay, sounds good. Packers going to win this year? You going to win the Super Bowl? Yes. And then guess what happens when they win the Super Bowl?
What?
You know what's a deal that I made with your older sister Kaylee when she was little, like your age? I told her that if the Packers ever win the Super Bowl, you can paint my nails like the girls do. Is that silly? So that's what'll happen. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. I will talk to you later. We'll be doing some Jeopardy. Right, Sean? We'll be doing Jeopardy, I think, tomorrow. You guys have a good one?
I want that to happen.
Yeah, I know I want that to happen, too. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.